Welcome back to another episode of Crying at 11:11. If you're watching this video, I do have a sock on my microphone, using this as a pop filter, which I misplaced. So that's what this is. If you hear some strange noises in the background, that's my baby angel golden retriever chewing on his toy, and I can't ask him not to chew on his toy because that's so freaking cute. So that is what you're hearing in the background. So Crying at 11:11 is a podcast that is dedicated to all kinds of conversations that are to expand our growth. We laugh, we may cry, we talk about our feelings, and feelings are what this episode is going to be about in particular, because I posted a TikTok on Monday. This was 6 days ago, and it absolutely has been blowing up. And to my surprise, the TikTok that blew up was just a 40-second video essentially just saying that you can't think your way out of an experience, an emotional experience. You have to feel it, and that no one is exempt from feeling the full range of human emotion. No one, no matter how ascended you are, no matter how much you know, no matter how much therapy you've possibly done, we have all agreed to come here for the human experience. And we have to feel the full human experience in order to process our emotions. So that's what the TikTok was about, and it absolutely has gone viral, which is so amazing. And listen, it's so exciting, and I see how many people are saying like, wow, I really needed to hear this. Like, this really changed something in my brain. And I'm going, wow, this is, such an honor that I could deliver this message that I thought was very simple, but is so profound. But B, it is also sad in a way that so many people out there resonate with this message because they have been conditioned to not let themselves feel their emotions. The most basic human right that we have, to be able to process energy, to be able to heal, to be able to show and express emotion and be vulnerable and have others accept us for that, and to give ourselves that experience in order to process and let go. Imagine if that message resonates with that many people and they're just getting that now or getting it lately. Imagine how many people are walking on this earth who are unable to process what's going on, and they're feeling so stuck and so heavy. And it's a sad realization that a lot of people are not able to process and let go. They're not able to let the energy move through them. And that stagnant energy shows up in so many different ways, because I'll clarify that emotions are just energy, and the energy needs to be processed. And you do that by feeling your feelings, by truly feeling your feelings, not thinking your feelings, not analyzing your feelings, not thinking about a story related to how you're feeling, not even just talking about the story to a friend or in therapy and going in loops about that feeling, but actually sitting down and embracing the emotional experience that you're having. That is what it is. And you do that through your body. And when you are unable to process this energy, process the feelings, it shows up in your body in so many ways as getting stuck. Undigested emotions show up as not being able to digest your food, having stomach issues, having skin issues, breakouts, having chronic anxiety, having depression. And listen, I am not someone who can professionally diagnose. I am not a somatic expert. I do not claim to be any of that. But what I do know is that when you do not properly process the emotions in your body from an experience, if you push it down and push it down, it does not just go away. And the more that you continue to push it down, the more layered it becomes, so that the next time you have an experience that re-triggers that emotion, now you have more fragmented material in you that is just adding to it. And suddenly you start to say to yourself, I don't know why I'm feeling this way. And you might even get to the point where you say to yourself, I don't even know what I'm feeling anymore. I just know that something is deeply wrong inside of me, and I feel so disconnected from myself. And so, my gorgeous angels, if you're listening to this, it doesn't have to be this way. Because we all come here with the inherent ability to be able to process these things. So why is this happening? Because it's an epidemic out there of people who are walking around with all this unprocessed shadow material, all these emotions and energy that is just stuck inside of them, and it is ruminating. It's causing physical mayhem in their body. It's causing emotional stress. It's causing anxiety. It's causing depression. It's creating this disconnection from really knowing who they are or what they need. So what do we do about this? Well, it really is simple at its core, but we have made it into something that is so complex because our minds love to create complex and difficult stories. Our minds love to try and protect us. But in that process of trying to protect us, they are actually holding us away from doing the very thing that would be the thing that lets us release this experience. And so let's talk about how this all starts. Because for so many human beings, from a very early age, humans inherit the messaging, which becomes a core belief, that expressing emotion makes you weak, expressing emotion makes you vulnerable, children should be seen and not heard, that boys shouldn't cry, that girls shouldn't let other boys get to them, that you have to be strong, toughen up, man up. And so we have these messages reinforced from a very young age from our caregivers, and then it's even reinforced within our peers. Children say to other children, they tattle them on them, they make fun of them for saying, "You're crying, don't be such a baby, don't be such a wuss." And don't you start to hear these messages in your adult life as well, everywhere you go? This disconnection from being able to truly feel your emotions. There is this shame surrounded on having feelings. And because people find that feelings are inconvenient, that they're a waste of time. I've had some people share that they say, "Oh, I'm going through this breakup and it's so hard because my friends just say, well, he wasn't that good for you anyway. Why don't you just get over it?" And the thing is, feelings are different from facts. And so you can have the awareness that, yeah, that past partner that I had really wasn't the guy for me. He was bad in ABC ways. But the fact of the matter is, you still have to feel that experience of the grief, of the loss, of the embarrassment, of the attachment wounds that are being brought to the surface. That all needs to be felt through. It doesn't just go away. Yet so many people think of these emotions as this inconvenient experience that if you just toughen up, if you harden up, if you outsmart it, you can just find the workaround to feeling these emotions. And that feeling the emotions is the weak thing to do. It makes you overly emotional. Look at how many women get called overly emotional for just feeling into the experience, for processing emotions, for being in touch with their body. And so by doing that, by not allowing yourself to have that experience, you are doing yourself such a disservice. Because by actually feeling the emotion and by having the experience, you are being brave. That is the brave choice. By choosing to open the door to the shitstorm, to the tornado of all of these feelings, all of these emotions that are coming up inside of you, these fragments from your past, the ancestral trauma that is trying to come up to be seen and therefore healed. There are so many layers to this. You having fun, Cedar? And so by opening the door and choosing to actually look at the storm, your storm, and say, I am going to just allow myself to sit in this experience, that is so brave. There was no braver thing that you could possibly ever do. Because do you know how hard and scary that is to say, I'm going to walk into the eye of the storm and I'm going to look at what's here and I'm going to let this experience show me what it is that I need to see. in order for me to grow. And I tell you, when you actually allow yourself to have that experience of diving deep into the emotions, you come out so vastly different than you could ever if you were to resist that experience in the first place. Because not only are you doing something incredibly brave, not only are you healing yourself and you are healing your past and your future, you are healing ancestral trauma and you are healing for your future children, but you are going into this eye of the storm and you are giving yourself the opportunity to connect with a deeper part of yourself. You're connecting with your higher self. I will tell you, the times that I have changed the most in my life, where I have ascended, where I have become a different person, were when I was in the throes of heartbreak, where when my heart was blown to a million pieces and I was bawling my eyes out, and I decided I'm just going to feel this experience and just surrender to it. Keyword surrender. And those were the times where I had my awakenings of who I was, of what I needed going forward. You come to understand yourself so much more deeply when you allow yourself to learn from the experience that you're having, when you're listening to the wisdom that is inherently inside your body. Your body knows how to process these feelings. But what you're doing is you're taking it out of your mind, because the human condition tells us that it's not safe. We convince ourselves that we're going to get stuck in these feelings forever, that they'll never leave. But the truth is, they're just visitors. You're opening the door and you're allowing it to pass through you. And when you stop with this mental gymnastics game, when you stop with the resistance and actually just allow the experience to take place, you'll find that the experience is far less painful than you thought it would be. And it goes by so much faster than you thought it would. Because the most painful part of that emotional experience is you resisting the experience. And as crazy as that sounds, it's true. As soon as you stop the resistance to the experience and just surrender to it, you are not experiencing as much pain, not nearly as much, because then you are just feeling the physical sensations. Where does it show up in your body? It feels like a heaviness in your chest. It feels like a tightness in your throat. It feels like nausea in your stomach. And so you start to actually process it as a physical experience, as energy. Where is the energy settling in my body? What is it trying to show me? And just sit with it. It's hard to stop thoughts because we all have monkey mind. We're all on our phones for like 8 hours a day. And we're all wired with this like next thing. So it's much easier to, instead of trying to just stop thoughts, but rather replace that with focusing on something else. And the replacement of focusing on something else is your body. You're going to remove the focus on the stories of, woe is me, this is just like what happened with that last partner, this reminds me of that time when those friends betrayed me, this and that, and all these fears and worries. And you're going to take that back into your body and see how that experience sits within you, and just breathe through the experience. If it helps you, put a literal hand on where you feel it. If you're feeling tightness in your chest, just put your hand there and just breathe and feel it through. Put your hand on your belly where you feel nauseous from this experience, and do that as many times as you need. Give yourself the kindness and the compassion to say, I will feel through this experience for as long as I need to, and I will return to this as many times as I need to. There is no shame in feeling your feelings. There is no shame in having big emotions. There's no shame in showing that something hurt you, that somebody really got to you, because all that shows is that you're having a human experience. You're having a human experience. Because let's get down to what this really is. If we're going to be real, we are soul manifested in a physical body, and we chose here to incarnate into these bodies at this time to have the physical experience and to experience the full range of human emotions, to experience the highs, the lows, the joys, and the sadness. We came here to experience everything and mix it up with other people. It's like a playground. God, some people call it a war zone, which I kind of have to agree with, that we came here to have all of these contrasting experiences. And so when we are here and we are allowing ourselves to have the physical experience, when we are allowing ourselves to feel the full range of human emotion, we're actually living. We're coming here and doing what we agreed to. Because you can't selectively numb. You can't say, I'm going to avoid this painful experience in hopes that I can just skip to the joyful experience. Don't we all wish that it worked that way? But it doesn't. How's that working for you? And on the flip side, you can't shame yourself out of a negative experience. You can't shame yourself into being better or into stronger. Because if that worked, wouldn't that have worked by now? And so, truly, there's this insane meme of Larry David looking disheveled at the bottom of a frame, and it says, "Me when I learned that the only way out is through." And it's hilarious because it is so disheartening when you realize, wow, there really is no way around this. I can't love and light myself out of this experience. I have to sit with what is here right now, and I have to see what it wants. Because there are versions of yourself that live inside of you that are active, living, breathing elements of who you are. Versions of you when you were 7, 8, 9, 14, 15, 16, your inner child, your inner teenager, your higher self. There are so many components to you that want you to look at this, that are calling you to actually learn from this experience, to integrate it into your being. This is why I have nothing against the retreat industry. I think retreats are incredible. But so many people leave not having integrated the experience fully, and then they kind of get swept up back in their daily lives. You have to be able to incorporate this into your daily life, into who you are. Because listen, we're not always going through emotional turmoil. We're not always going through a trauma or a breakup. But what we are going through are constant waves of feelings throughout every single day. And the more that you can get in touch with noticing how you're feeling and responding by giving yourself what you need in that moment, the more that you start to flow with life, the more that you start to strengthen that relationship that you have with yourself. And then the more that experiences start to roll off of you, because the emotions aren't getting stuck inside of you. And when something does come up that triggers you, it's not re-triggering 10 other layers of emotional fragments that you haven't yet addressed, you see. So this is not easy stuff. Okay? And I just want to say, if you're here, you are somebody that has been trying to better yourself and try to understand the human condition, try to love yourself more. And aren't we all? And how beautiful is that? And really, that's all that matters. And at the bottom line of this message, we're just giving ourselves more compassion. We're just loving ourselves more. We're just being easier on ourselves. We're just giving ourselves what we need, and we're listening to those needs. We're getting clearer on those needs. That's all this is, so that we can release, we can move forward, we can have the full range of human experience that we came here to have, so that when we go back to our non-physical state, we can take that growth with us, because we are here to expand our consciousness. Because if we are eternal beings, then we come here as a classroom. We come here to learn. We are the students. We come here to get our heart broken. We come here to make mistakes. We come here to learn. So listen, if this is the first time that you're realizing this, like, oh shit, I gotta feel my feelings, there's no shame in this. Or if you're thinking, God, I haven't done a very good job of this, like, what's wrong with me? There is no shame in this. Shame is not going to make this easier for you. What we want is to have the compassion, the love for ourselves. Set the high standard for ourselves that this is the way that I deserve to treat myself. And then you'll see that even all the relationships around you, they have no choice but to treat you better. The bottom line here is to love yourself so much, to become so comfy, cozy, as Beyonce once said, in your own skin, that you become your own best friend. You become your own lover. You love spending time with yourself. You love who you are because you know how to meet your own needs. You know how to love yourself properly. And it starts by being able to feel your emotions. As simple as that is, it starts by being in tune with yourselves. And it is a radical act because our culture, our society worldwide teaches us to disconnect from that part, to be more efficient. But we have to be the ones to push back and say no. No matter how long this takes, no matter how inconvenient it is for me or for others or for that company's bottom line, I am going to see myself as a human being who is having a human experience. I'm not a machine. I'm not AI. Let yourself feel. Let yourself love. There's one final thought here that I wanted to touch on too, and that when we talk about manifesting the dream car, the dream husband, the dream career, this is important. This is what we came here to be, the creators of our experience. But a lot of people find that something's not quite clicking. I'm not quite there yet. And when I do feel like I get close, it falls apart. And the part of this that ties into the emotions is that you have to be emotionally and energetically ready for this new phase of your life that you want to be bringing in, that you want to be manifesting. And so you have to be manifesting the version of you. I heard this somewhere online. A friend sent me this creator who said this so well. I'm just merely parodying this. That you have to manifest the version of you that is ready to have the career, the partner, the house. You're not manifesting the thing, because our beliefs are the thing that block us from having it, because we're not grounded in who we are yet to be able to have the thing. You need to manifest the version of you that's ready for it. So rather than focusing so hard on needing that partner, needing that career, needing that house in order to escape the situation, the feeling that you're in right now, say to yourself, I am going to love myself so deeply. I'm going to work with myself so consistently that I'm going to naturally just become the person that has those things. And isn't that the law of manifestation? That you attract what you are. You're sending out a signal and you're just getting back the mirrored reflection of what you're offering. And so if you're offering someone who values themselves, someone who trusts themselves, someone who knows who they are, then you can only attract a romantic partner who is a reflection of that. And on the flip side, if you're not comfortable in your own skin, if you don't believe that you're worthy of healthy love, if you don't accept yourself for who you are, then you're going to attract a partner who will reflect that to you, and you will accept that behavior. And so the key here is to be more in touch with ourselves, to love ourselves so much, to be so comfortable in our own skin that we believe that we deserve the experiences that we so want, because we all want good for ourselves, and good is coming. We deserve it. We came here to have the good experience. We came here to be the creator of our own life. And so you have to believe that you are deserving of it. And listen, it's easier said than done, because I could talk through you to this screen and say, you're good, you're worthy, you're worthy. And some people are going to sit there saying, well, yeah, I hear the words, but I don't necessarily feel it. The first step is actually just becoming more in tune with yourself, trusting yourself more, allowing things to come up that need to be seen and looked at, and knowing that you'll be safe in looking at it, that you're not going to get lost in the sauce of the drama and the trauma. That was good. That you are doing yourself the biggest service you could possibly do. You are being so brave by just accepting you for who you are and for where you are right now, accepting the experience as it is, as what it is, to let your feelings come up, process what it is that you need to feel. And if you need assistance in doing that, get the assistance in whatever way, shape, or form that looks like. Therapy, a friend, a sitter. However that looks to you, you will know what's right for you. I do not hold those answers. But what I do know is that when you take the time and make the effort to get in touch with yourself, you open up a door to the future version of yourself that you are so much more connected to. And that future version of you is already here. You just have to answer the call, because your higher self knows the path. It knows how to get you there. And so your higher self is getting you, it's showing you where these patterns are coming up. You might say, why do I keep attracting the same kind of person, the same kind of situations with friends? Why do I keep attracting situations at work that don't value me, that I get fired? Whatever it is, you know the patterns that are coming up in your own life. And once you start to look at those patterns and get real with yourself, get genuine with yourself, to look at it, that is when you hold the key to stepping into the future version of yourself that has it all. Because the future version of yourself doesn't necessarily need the things. The future version of yourself already is it. You are the love. You are the abundance. It radiates from your soul. So you'll just naturally attract the best of the best. Because how could you not? That is law. And that's some tea. So I'm going to leave it at that. I hope that this message spoke to you in some way. Please leave a comment. If it did, I would love to read what you took from this. And I just want to thank you again for being here and for opening your heart and just listening and taking part of this experience together, because I'm right here with you, learning all the same things. We are no different. If you want to follow me, I am on TikTok, as I mentioned, Thomas_channels, I believe. Thomas Channels on Instagram. I can link it in the show notes. I can't wait to be back for another episode. Okay. Thank you all so much. I am sending you a huge burst of love, and you've got this. You'll know what to do. You'll know how to take the next step forward. Sometimes it's just a pen and a paper and just get writing. Get it all down and then let it go. Let it hurt, let it heal. Gotta feel it to heal it. The only way out is through. There's so many buzzwords, catchphrases, but they're a cliche for a reason, because it's true. Alright guys, I love you all so much. Thank you so much for being here and giving me your time and energy, and we'll be back again soon. Bye.